The Ohio State offensive playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of college football 26. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the reasons why it is so good. I'm going to be showing you some of the best plays in this playbook, along with one of the better formations in the game. And we're going to be starting with kind of some bubblegum stuff, and then we'll kind of work through to the mainstay stuff. So some of the bubblegum stuff that's actually in this playbook is actually kind of interesting. If you go over here to I believe it is the tackle over cluster. This play RPO alert buck flat. This play is wild. We'll just run this up against some random stuff. But basically, as you see here, you can obviously hand it off. But the main reason why this is good is because you can actually throw this RPO against almost anything. Like this RPO is really, really good. It's actually incredibly effective if you run this with the running back on the side of your quarterback's throwing hand. It makes it super efficient. As you see there, it gets a little quicker animation. But anyway, this is a really, really good play. One of the other things that you have in this play is you have just kind of some basics runs that are pretty good in this tackle over cluster. It might be one of the better shotgun running type of formations. The other crazy part about it, you can audible to this from your 3 wide receiver packages, which as you see here, we do have the bunch strong offset. So it kind of adds like a really, really nice little mini scheme into a pretty good playbook already. Pretty much everything is a run or an RPO, but one of the best runs in this is actually just the basic halfback sweep, which let me just run over against random plays here and we'll just kind of show you what we're doing out of this. So if you do want to run the halfback sweep, you'll notice that it's really good for like mid blitz, really good for any kind of compressed defense. You're just gonna get really good blocking here. And I mean, as you can see, I mean, this is a really good run. So add this to your arsenal. This is the halfback sweep out of the tackle cluster. This tackle over is kind of just, again, a unique formation, but it's also really, really good. Halfback swing pass here, you have this little speed out to the left side, which is kind of an underrated route. Again, really good if you're out leveraging them, and you can't baseline in this game, so it makes it pretty good against everything. Also, the swing pass is pretty good, as you can see right there. And this formation, even though it's like a kind of a mini scheme, you can really threaten the whole field with this formation, at least horizontally. You certainly can. Here's that buck sweep flat. You see, it's literally just going to be a one-on-one every time. Everybody just blitzes to the middle, and this is one of the best plays. This is probably one of my favorite plays in the red zone, and this is just a money play. So you need to add this if you're running Ohio State. This is one of those plays that you need to have. What also makes Ohio State really good, in my opinion, is you have this tackle over cluster. You have some really good passing plays, but you also, if you go down here to single back, you have actually a really good under center run scheme. In the single back bunch, you can have halfback slam, duo, crack toss, and then whatever passing play you want to have. And then if you go over to the bunch tight end, you have the stretch alert bubble, which is really, really good in this game. Inside zone, and then you could put another run in here. Actually, probably will put like that. Is there a counter in here? Inside zone split looks kind of crazy. Halfback misdirection. I mean, put something in here. But anyways, you could put whatever you want. You don't have to have all runs, but I just think the run from those two formations is really good. So in theory, what you could do is you could be like in your bunch, like in your shotgun bunch or your normal live close. And then, in situations, you could audible over here to the tackle over, which I think I passed it. Did I pass it? Or oh yeah, it's one click to the right here. So I can audible right into this and now have one of the best shotgun run schemes in the entire game. And then what I can also do is I can audible down into my single back bunch tight end, which is going to give me good under center passing, but it also gives me incredible, incredible under center running with this stretch alert bubble. The bubble is really, really good. And the bubble in general from bunch tight end is really good, but you pair it with a stretch, it makes it even better. And then you also have the single back bunch, which has a duo run in it, which is really, really good as well. So you have this little duo run right here, more of an inside zone or kind of a more inside threatening run, but this can really threaten the middle of the field. So again, you see how we can literally just we can run the ball really, really well in this offense, but it also has some of the best passing in the entire game. So this offense does have some of the best passing in the entire game, and it has looked no further really than this normal while close. This formation is really, really, really good, and it can break down coverages really, really well. If you want a full mini scheme on this formation, join our free school community. It's completely free to you. I post free tips in there, free mini schemes. So if you want to sign up for that, that link is going to be in the description of this video. But again, what makes this formation really, really good is the fact that you have this play PA snag and PA Buckeye verts. These are the best two plays in the formation. You can pretty much pick any other play that you want to come out in. There's also a really good RPO in here as well. This RPO peak spot is actually really good. I think I have that in my audibles. And then you do have a off tackle, inside zone, kind of standard stuff. But anyway, what makes this good is you have a short post and you have play action blocking. Play action blocking historically is one of the better ways to block most defenses, especially any kind of like linebacker blitz, loop type of blitz. This will do a really good job against that. Always, always, always reset your pass protection to base, and then you can go crazy with your combos. You see here, the way that I like to run this formation is I normally like to run this formation with the tight end to the wide side of the field. The reason I like to have the tight end to the wide side of the field is because it allows us to motion out this running back. And one of my favorite combos in the game is I'm going to motion out the running back, and this is a really important tip. When you motion him out, you want to put him on a speed out when he passes that tight end. So you see here, put him on a speed out when he passes the tight end. This allows us to get a speed out on our outside running back. And now we have a really, really good way to be able to attack over there on the right-hand side. Nice throw from Drew Aller. Probably, I think, what most people consider to be one of the best quarterbacks in this game. But for some reason, he still can't throw the ball. Shout out to practice mode. But the speed outs are really good. And then you have this, kind of wise tail, just straight money play. This is going to be really good against cover 4, cover 3. Doesn't really matter what coverage they run. That, deep speed out is going to get separation. It's also one of the best ways to attack man coverage. So we know man coverage really good right now. When you motion this running back out, what makes it good is the running back, he can't be pressed. So your speed out, even just a 10-yard speed out, you're going to see here, consistently going to get nice separation, and you're going to be able to attack the defense to the right side. So this is one of my favorite plays in this. And then another play that you have that I think is really good is this play PA Buckeye verts. It has this kind of really unique route to the slot receiver here. And so what I like to do when I run this play is very simple. I'm going to put a drag to my tight end. I'm going to put a running back streak, and then you can put this circle receiver really on whatever you want. You could leave him on this corner and let him run it like that. You could do a slot fade. If you did a slot fade, I'd probably put the running back on a Texas route. But you could also do like just a basic post like this. And the reason why I like this is just because this little slot seam streak is going to clear out really, really well for this post. And so you got a really nice chance to hit this against most coverages over there on that right side. That's one of the many plays that I like, or many setups that I like out of that play. This play is also really good against cover 2. It's a little situational here, but if you get a cover 2, this little slot seam streak, you'll see the mid read doesn't really, it's going to have a hard time getting back on it. It's kind of like again, it's just because it kind of inverts to the middle. It'll do some really nice damage against cover 2 in this year's game with that mid read. It really kind of pops that mid read. Another way to kind of think about it is a mid read will typically open up to the 3 receiver side in this case. So for example, another one of my favorite combos is to use PA Buckeye verts. But now what we're going to do is we're going to motion that running back out, put him on that speed out. We could also drag the running back. But then we're able to take this guy on the right, put him on a slot fade, and then we can put the tight end on a corner. And what this will do is it kind of creates the same idea, but the mid read, you'll see he really runs to that right-hand side, and it makes it so that he really can't play that seam streak. So I'll show that again, and just to kind of illustrate without the practice mode crazy sheds, I'm going to spy the D-line here. I think honestly I need to make myself start doing that when I do these breakdowns, because the D-line sometimes just goes crazy, and I'm really just trying to show you the routes. Obviously, I understand you have to factor in like pressure in this game is a real thing, but typically in practice mode, the pressure is way, way, way worse than it normally will be. So anyways, as you can see here, we can do something pretty straightforward like this. Watch the mid read though. You'll see he's going to really run to the right, and then this leaves this passing lane open. And even though the mid read is still running back there, he's a step behind basically. So it's a way that you can attack cover 2 in this offense. Another way that you can attack cover 2 in this formation is with the use of a slot fade off this Y sail play. So we're just going to take this guy on the right. We're going to put him on a slot fade. You can put the guy on the left on really whatever you want. If you want to put the slot on a drag or a zig, it's kind of up to you. I think drags are so good. I think every play you run should have a drag on it. But what you're going to see, and of course, they just said that you saw we got practice mode shedded. But what you're going to see here is as long as you have time in the pocket, the slot fade is going to clear out really nicely for this tight end route. And so you can just throw this, you'll see kind of super deep in the play. And this is what I think is going to make this formation so good, both in Madden and in college football, is because you have the slot fade, even though, like, because you have the slot fade on the right, it now makes it so that you can easily attack both sidelines within this formation because the slot fade is going to be so much better. For example, a setup like this was really good last year, but was kind of struggled against a good cover four because the tight end would sometimes be able to be covered by match coverage or by cover four in general, right? But because you have a slot fade now, the match coverage will never be able to cover the tight end properly because they're just going to get out leveraged because of the slot fade. And then the corner route is still a nice corner route and it gets underneath everything. So you're just going to see, I mean, this as he kind of runs it poorly. But you also have that route, which is the backbreaker route, which is really the whole reason you run this formation. But then also, let me pinch my D-line here. Again, the D-line just caused so many issues. That's why you should just spy on every play. Life would be so much better if it was a 7-on-7 game. But you'll see that slot. Look at that. I sent two. I blocked my running back, and I still got yelled at. I'm gonna just spy on here real quick, just because I really want to show you this route. You will have if you guys don't know, like sheds in practice mode are historically way better than sheds in a regular game. So anyway, leave that there. But watch how the tight end runs his route. See how much space? Like that's almost impossible to switch stick without really putting yourself in a disadvantage. And if they do switch stick to the right side, then what you're able to do in this play, if they switch stick to the right side, is you will be able to easily attack this backside with the post. So again, something basic like this, and you're going to see that running back also clears out nice space to hit that drag. But then look at how much space you have still to throw that route, right? If I catch that a little bit sooner, that's going to be a really nice window to be able to hit. So the bottom line is you can just hit a lot of windows. So again, this is just kind of envisioning that they switch stick off of one route to go to the tight end. And if they do make that switch, then they don't have anybody backside now to be able to use this route, which gets in the best spot ever. And again, you can literally just build an entire offense around PA Snag. I'm going to show you one of the most underrated setups of PA Snag, in my opinion. It's basically this. What we're going to do is we're going to take our running back, we're going to motion him out, and we're going to run a simple high-low like this. I think this is one of the more underrated kind of setups of PA Snag. Now, if you wanted to, you could do really whatever you want to do with this slot receiver. If you want to put him on a slot fade, you can put him on a slot fade. If you want to put him on a out route and stem it all the way down, you could do that. You could also do, double drags and put the running back on something different if you wanted to. I typically am just going to put him on a flat, like a speed out like this. And I know it looks a little wonky, but the speed out is going to really open up space. Also, the slot fade will kind of accomplish the same purpose. But watch how it opens up space for this quick tight end drag that you can hit, kind of over in this left side. So that's another little use case of this. And this is primarily, like I said, to just attack. You have to realize, like, they're going to normally they're going to send 4 at you. And so when they go to send 4 at you, having this little basic tight end drag or tight end in, you're going to get really nice spacing here. Of course, the tight end got bumped. But then that's going to also leave your post. So you kind of create more of a middle of the field type of strain on the defense, which is obviously really, really good. So anyway, those are some reasons why I really like, this formation in general, is I do think that it still is going to provide extremely effective spacing in next year's game, or in this year's game and in Madden. And you're going to see that like right here. See how the tight end just gets wide open. And the other thing about it that I think is really good is this slot fade on the left side. I think it's really, really good because the slot fade will really pull the zones, and it still pulls a flat zone. But then also when you motion your running back out, I just put your running back on a basic drag. Like you don't have to put him on a. You could also put him on a return route if you wanted like immaculate spacing. Like this is going to time together really well. But watch how the slot fade pulls the flat defender out, and then you can throw this, kind of in that little window right there. So anyway, just a nice play. I haven't talked a ton about man coverage, so I did want to talk a little bit more. Again, one of the best things you can do in this year's game with man coverage is motion the running back out because it's going to do just so many things for you from a man coverage perspective. Stem down corners are really good. You're going to see here this stem down corner has a good chance. There's a running back. That was just a basic out route, not even a speed out, but that has a good chance of being able to win. And then with PA snag is just a man-to-man killer because you also have this route to Pena here. That's a just a simple slant route. Obviously looks very basic, but what's a really good combo here is to put this streak or slot fade, and then what you can do is put the running back on like a little in route. And what you're going to see here is this slant is really consistent at being able to attack man coverage. So you just have a lot of different options within this formation to be able to attack the different things that they're going to do. And it's a pretty straightforward, very simple formation. Another thing about this is this RPO is really good. You have a couple of options, and one of the things you can do in RPOs this year is you can hot route. So for example, if we wanted to, we could put a slant right here over the middle. So we see the linebacker blitz. We could maybe throw the slant. There, didn't get a great animation. Let's try to get this for you real quick. You see how we kind of pop it right behind the user, assuming the user is running down. And then if the user isn't running down, obviously we could just run the ball. And then one of the best quick throws is just this quick flat to the tight end. It's one of the best ways to just attack with this RPO. So you have all of this stuff from normal live close. You have the run game. You have kind of the money play with that other that tackle over cluster. And then also you can go to this formation. This is the gun trips over. It has this halfback dive in it. Obviously, if they're in a nickel set, they're going to have to flip. And what this is going to do is, as you'll see here, this halfback dive is just a really, really incredible run. It's very difficult to consistently stop this halfback dive out of the trips over formation, trips Y over formation. And then if they are able to stop the halfback dive, or they don't flip with you, you can go to this RPO zone bubble, which is an inside zone run. So it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more like, I don't know, like narrow attacking. It's not like a duo run. Like halfback dive is kind of like a duo run. This is more like just a straight up inside zone. But then you also have this bubble screen, which is really good out of this formation as well. And so you can just kind of get, really in your bag, I guess, with some of these plays. And then we haven't even really touched on it yet, but you do still have bunch strong. Now, this bunch strong is not the best bunch strong by any means, but it does have a couple really good plays. It has the play dagger, which is my favorite play in the game. And all you'd have to do is put the slot receiver on a crosser and just snap the ball quick. And you're going to be able to have a nice high-low read to that left side. The other thing that I really like about this is there is this little technique in the game right now where you can audible. It's really good against man. So if you're ever struggling to beat man, this is a really, really good tip. What you're going to do is you're going to audible to your bunch strong. And when this slot receiver runs across the formation, when he gets to like the guard or center area, you're going to put him on a running back flat route. So that's going to be triangle. And then the icon of the receiver, I'm going to show it with running back. And then we're going to flick the right joystick up to put him on a flat. So you'll see that the slot receiver, if I do that, he's going to run a post. But when I audible to this bunch and I do it when he crosses, what's going to happen now is he is going to run it. He's going to run it differently. So I'll show you. So I'm going to audible to wide trail. He's going to run across. I'm going to put him on a table route. Now he's on a flat. And then what I can do is I already have this really nice drag route. And then I could just put the tight end on a corner if I want to have a high-low. Or I could do, however you want to accomplish it. But watch this flat route against man coverage. It's really good against press man. You see how they just bump like that. And then this is just a free, like quick throw. It's almost like a slant out from other years. But it's one of my favorite ways to attack man coverage right now. And I think this is here to stay because they did drop a patch and they didn't touch this whatsoever. They didn't even try to fix it. So maybe they want this. I will say, like all things considered, this is one of the coolest things in the game. Like, it's cool just because it adds a whole nother layer of creativity on the offensive side of the ball, and it just allows you to do a lot of different things. There's obviously some things with it, But this specific hot route I think is so good, just because it gives you a really consistent way to be able to attack man coverage, which is 100% like the meta right now. We could go something like that. Another little way we could run this play, which I think is pretty cool, is now we can run kind of an old school dagger type of way. And you see, look at that. I mean, that is just so clean, and it's just a really good route. So I would really encourage you to try that out. Another setup that I like out of this formation, while we're talking about it, more of a zone setup, but this is a really good setup out of this, and kind of an underrated one out of wide trail. So you're gonna go to wide trail. You're gonna put this outside receiver on a out, stem him down, stem the corner all the way down like this, and then you kind of have a couple of options. One of the ways you can run this play is you could just put the tight end on a streak and the running back on a Texas like this. Another way you could run this play is you could leave that tight end on the streak and motion this guy out, put him on a drag. Both of those are setups that I like, and you're going to see here that we're going to be able to attack that right sideline with that stem down corner route. Obviously, when you're in any bunch formation in this game, you have the universal zone beater, which is really good to have. And all it is we put the outside receiver on a corner, stem him all the way down. We're going to slot fade the slot receiver, streak the tight end, and then have a backside drag. If you want to put the running back on a route, you can put him on a table. If you don't want to put the running back on a route, don't put him on a route. And now you're able to attack zone here to the right. And then if you want to, you can hold left trigger and then basically flick the left stick up, and it will playmaker the solo receiver back. The reason that this is good is let's say you're playing your opponent and your opponent switch sticks to the corner, and that takes him kind of out of the middle of the field. That's where this kind of a combo becomes, I think, really good. It's obviously really good anyway, because if they're not, if they're not playing good defense, like they're not, it's almost impossible to stop this play. Like this play is so simple, but it is one of the best plays in the game, because if they do switch stick to the right side, then what you're able to do is if you playmaker this guy up, you just wait till he clears the yellow zones, and you have that clear out streak, and now they're just, in the NBA they talk about like it puts the defense in a blender. Totally. Like they're scrambling, trying to stop it, and they're not going to be able to. So that's another one of my favorite plays out of this bunch. There's obviously a lot of other formations that we could dive into within this playbook, but I do think these are some of the best plays that you can have. This trips Y over, one of the most underrated little combos here, in my opinion, is to run this play verticals. It's kind of more for man coverage, but it is good against both. And you're just going to drag the tight in. That's all you basically, or just, I guess, or not drag the tight end. Motion the running back out, and you can put him on, whatever. You can just put him on an in route, whatever. But this is a simple play that can be a lot of different coverages. If you put the comeback route there on the right side, you can kind of create a high-low on the right for zone, and this running back table or running back out route can be pretty good against man coverage. So you don't need to pass the ball a lot from the trips, but it is nice to have a play or two that you can utilize just so they can't key in on the run. And then, by the way, you still have this tackle halfback over cluster formation, which has probably the best RPO in the game right now. So all in all, I think this formation is incredible. One other thing I forgot to mention is if you do go to bunch tight end, what's nice about this is when you come out in this alignment, the bunch tight end is to the short side, which is way more optimal for when you want to run your bubble screen, because your bubble screen is going to get better blocking to the short side of the field. So that is the Ohio State kind of little offensive mini scheme. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you guys want to check out our free school community, we have a full, even deeper version of this, and kind of gives you a free walkthrough on that. But in general, this formation is really powerful. There's a lot of things you can do out of it. This is literally the tip of the iceberg in terms of what you could all do. But this is, a very, very good offense to be running right now, because you do have like the ability to go from normal to bunch and then into some bubblegum stuff that I think makes it even better. Like this little thing, like single back, bunch, halfback, crack toss. Look at that. See how they have to flip with you. If they don't flip with you, it's an obvious numbers advantage. And the crack toss blocking is kind of bad in this game. It's not bad, actually. It's actually fine. And again, this is primarily for like, let's just kind of go through like the double mug stuff. I'll just do random double mug. But this just really manipulates double mug. Like this whole offense is really good against double mug. And you're going to see because we're able to put ourselves in position to just out leverage them. These compressed defenses are going to struggle with this crack toss, which is why it's in the formation. And if you make one guy miss, it could be a touchdown. So the runs in this playbook, I think, make it one of the best offenses in the game. Here's the single back bunch tight end, halfback stretch. See how that guy moves because they're in a man coverage alignment. Now our stretch is literally free. All we got to do is make one defender miss, and you're going to get easy yardage. So you want to be running the ball in this scheme, and then obviously situationally you have a lot of good passing as well. The only other thing I wanted to mention here is red zone. So the biggest thing with red zone, in my opinion, is run the ball. Like if you can run the ball, that's the best way to play in the red zone. So just straight up run the ball is one. Number two, the RPO. So the RPO, as you see, this corner is going to be in the conflict. So that's why I like to put like a slant. And what you'll see here is they're just reading him. And a lot of times that tight end can break that tackle. So that is one of my favorite ways to score down here is just these, quick pop pass. There you see, look at that. Look how open that slant is on that. And again, you can hot route on any of the receivers on these RPO plays. So you could also do a slant from the left side, boom, you know what I mean? And then you have that hitch in case they run zone. So I just think, this RPO play to me is really, really good in the red zone. Another one is you could streak this guy. Maybe even let's just streak the tight end. We'll put a speed out on this guy stemming all the way down like this. So now we're watching those middle linebackers. Oh, they've covered it well, but our speed out's open. It's just making those quick reads out of this RPO play. And then, like I said, one of my favorite things to do down here though is run the ball. And I think one of the best plays down here is this halfback swing or the tight end play. Both of these are really, really good because you're just trying to stretch the defense horizontally. The thing about the red zone is you've got to find a way to stretch the defense as horizontally as possible because you don't really have the capability to stretch that defense vertically as much. So here's that RPO read flat. You'll see here. The other thing about this RPO, which I'll show you in just a second, but you see there, that thing's money. Like that is so much money. Like that's going to be so hard for them to defend. And then the other thing about that play that I forgot to mention that is really helpful, specifically in the red zone, is if you go to like the RPO alert spot, you can hot route. So you can do like a streak corner flat, and now you have that kind of a combo as well, kind of similar to the other RPO plays, right? But I think the flat is obviously the best way to run it. But by knowing, okay, I have this, even on the buck sweep version, I can put this tight end on a slant over the middle. They're expecting him to go on a flat, and you know what I mean? So, but the flat is normally going to be more open than the slant. So just want you to know that you can hot route, you can audible a little bit around, which makes it really, really good. One of my favorite red zone combos, if you actually want a red zone combo, is this cross drag play. What you're going to do is you're going to put this slot receiver here on a speed out, stem him all the way down, and then that's pretty much it. You're just going to call hike, and you're really looking for this tight end drag or the backside dig. It's all about making quick reads down here, and see if we can actually show you that a little bit better here. So cross drag. What most people do in the red zone is they shade down. You want to make sure you're in base protection. If you're going to block your running back, make sure you re-block him. But it's really just, again, we're just trying to have these quick throws down here. So that little speed out opens up that little throwing lane right there for the tight end. Super quick read. And then if they use for that, obviously you'll have the backside in route over the middle. So those are some of my favorite money plays down here inside the red zone. A good normal wild close play, if you want a good, is of course the RPO. But I also think one of the better ones is this PA snag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to motion the running back out, put him on a hitch, put him on a curl, and stem him all the way down like that. And then I am on this left-hand side, I'm going to actually run a smoke screen, and I'm going to drag my tight end. And basically what's going to happen is I've got that tight end in that window, and then I've got this crosser as well. So the tight end can be open in that window, and then the crosser or the running back is going to get open kind of over there on that right-hand side. So it's really good for attacking man-to-man. Another super good red zone play is really any play with a tight end flat. So you see how this PA Buckeye Verts has a tight end flat on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a short crosser here to the right. We're going to streak the running back, And then what I like to do on this left side is we're going to go with a hitch, stem him all the way down, and then we're going to use a drag. And while this kind of looks like a crazy play, the reason it's really good is because that hitch is on the numbers, and that short crosser should get open. I think I got to wait on that a little bit more. I got pressured. That short crosser can get open. And also, by the way, I mean, the running back is, you've got to look at the running back first, though. So, anyway, we'll just leave this. Actually, we'll just, yeah, we'll do the drag here. It looks like that. Looking for that running back. Look at that. Look at that pressure. Just instant. That doesn't happen in game. It's just a practice mode thing with these sheds. Like, that's crazy. All right, just for the sake of illustration, here, I'm going to buy these guys. I just want you to see the routes and what we're really looking for. So what we're really looking for here is obviously the running back quick right there. And then if we wait on this crosser, you want to throw it right on the sideline, possession catch it, gets in a really, really nice window. So that is the Ohio State little mini scheme. If you guys want to check out my other version of it, it's in our free school community. I'll put a link to that down in the description. It's about 40 more minutes and goes into deep detail about man coverage and how you can really manipulate it. And again, that's completely free to you. All you got to do to sign up for that is just hit the link in the description down below.